A pretty big week in gaming. We got new trailers for some massive games, info on a PlayStation 5 exclusive, an Xbox exclusive going to PlayStation. We look a bit at Summer Game Fest and way more, so sit back and let's go. Yes, we finally, of course, got the second trailer for GTA 6, and what a vibe. It just screams a good time between hanging out with friends and doing, of course, the criminal activities to pay the bills. It seems like the relationship between our two main characters, Jason Duval and Lucia Caminos, is good, at least early in the game. Jason picks her up from prison, and the cop notes, "Have I seen you before?" which is likely correct, as both have a criminal record. And Rockstar notes that during the story they get caught up in a criminal conspiracy after an easy score goes wrong, which will likely result in some tension between the two. We also got introduced to many of the side characters, like Jason's booze-loving friend Cal, the music producer Booby, and veteran drug smuggler Brian Hader. I'm just overall insanely impressed by the amount of details Rockstar has put into all the locations, like outdoors but also indoors. The amount of different clothes that even random NPCs are wearing. There's so much going on in this world already. Also, when looking at these screenshots, it will totally be the most lifelike open world we've ever seen. And I'm just really curious how it will evolve the gameplay. We already see the police on the street interacting with other NPCs. I'm hoping for a more fleshed out and interesting wanted system. That would be great. In the small commercial for ammunition, we see a ton of different weapons, from semi-automatic rifles, shotguns, assault rifles, and SMGs. We see Lucia use a grenade launcher, and both are using MP5s. And YouTuber TGG noticed that some of the license plates on the cars are not from the state of Leonida. That is where GTA 6 takes place, potentially hinting at other locations that Rockstar plans to add after launch, which was already rumored before, although crazy to talk about the DLC already. I still don't believe it's coming out on May 26, 2026. I can see them push it to the end of the year, but I want to hold out hope. All the footage we saw was, by the way, captured on a base PS5. They say that some of it is gameplay, like, sure, but it's a nice illustrated trailer. I really want to see what it looks like when we actually get our hands on the controller, although I'm really sure it will be amazing. Of course, let me know what you think of the new trailer in the comments down below. Way more imminent is Death Stranding 2, and select content creators and press already got to play 30 hours of the game, which I think has never happened before during a preview session. So maybe you would be like, okay, did they finish the game? Well, no, because it's 75 hours long to see the end of the story, which is kinda crazy. Now, it does seem that the sequel is improving upon everything from the first game, as the opening hours, for example, get you into the action way faster, instead of having to watch hours of cutscenes. And there's overall more action as well, something that I liked a lot in the first game, but was just few and far between. First, the endless packages that had to be delivered. Now, of course, delivering goods is still a big part of this second game, but it should be way more interesting, thanks to earthquakes and other natural disasters that can happen, so you are forced to take a new route. But there are also other ways to get around, like a monorail for long distance traveling. One thing that sounded great is that the progression system is now based on the activities you perform. So if you want to get better at combat, you have to fire weapons more often to increase the accuracy. But yeah, it overall seems that if you loved the first game, you will like this a lot too. And even if you did not enjoy that first game, but like the premise, then this might totally be worth the chance. It might resolve some of the issues you had with Death Stranding 1. So let me know if you look forward to Death Stranding 2. I still don't know. As you might know, I did finish the first game, but was not like a huge fan of it. I overall just don't really like the delivering goods gameplay. More action sounds appealing, so I think I will just wait for reviews, and if everyone is like, this is one of the best games ever, then I will spend the time. But otherwise, I would rather spend that in other games that are still in my backlog. But again, let me know what you think. Leave a like, that would also really help me out. And subscribe, because we post one of these big gaming news roundup videos every Sunday. We got a new trailer for Mafia The Old Country, and the August 8th release date has been confirmed. And I know I'm going to make some people mad, but I really think this doesn't look great, sadly, and I will tell you why. My immediate feeling when I saw this new gameplay trailer was the Order 1886, because it looks incredible. Like, the graphics, the world, the characters all look very well done. But the gameplay just looks very wonky. It seems kind of hard to control your movement and the aiming. It seems to be too cinematic for it to actually play well. Now I hope it's serviceable, but I'm just not expecting a great feeling game, and it will be very, very linear. Like especially the chase scenes in cars and horses, and then you end up in this way too obvious boss arena. I'm sorry, but this just feels like an Order 1886 battle where you simply dodge and then you hit and then you dodge and then you hit. Look, I hope I'm wrong, of course, and that this game is really amazing, but I want to tell you as I see it. I think the story will be really crucial to this overall package, so I hope they deliver on that. But of course, hard to know right now. I just don't think the gameplay will be very exciting. The facial expressions, I think, could use some work as well. But yeah, we will see. They also announced that it's $50. We think there's a large audience for compelling stories that don't require massive time commitments, is Take-Two's reason. I made multiple 2025 predictions, of course, at the start of the year, and one of them was this. But I think one of the headlines will be, when Mafia comes out, you can finish it in 6-7 hours. I think that's another prediction in the bank. Now, I'm curious to hear your take, of course, in the comments down below. Hopefully it's more positive, but my expectations, at least, were lowered significantly after watching this trailer. Another big reveal this week is that the original Gears of War is indeed coming to PS5 in the form of Gears of War Reloaded. And it's free if you already own the Ultimate Edition on a PC or Xbox. So the campaign is running in 4K 60 FPS and has HDR with no loading screens. There's split screen for 2 players as well, and of course the regular multiplayer you can play in 120 FPS with crossplay and cross progression. All the post-launch DLC is also included in this package, so it's a pretty good deal for the $40 they are asking, especially if you never played it. So really curious if this means that Gears of War E-Day is also day 1 on PlayStation 5. I can really see them do it. I think the Xbox Showcase on June 8th during Summer Game Fest will be very interesting. I can totally see them announce way more PS5 ports for already announced titles like Fable and Perfect Dark. And they are not shying away from that. They will tell you that during the Xbox show. Microsoft was the top publisher on PlayStation in the first quarter of 2025 and might end up taking the crown for the whole year if they keep this up. It's working for them in terms of short-term like profit and revenue, although it will be interesting to see what the impact will be on the future of Xbox hardware, as there's just one less reason to buy an Xbox with every game they bring over. But overall, kinda wild to see Gears of War on PlayStation 5. Time for the rumor roundup, where we look at the biggest leaks and rumors of the week, and I give stars, with 3 being I believe it, and 1 being let's take this with a huge grain of salt. I already mentioned the Xbox Showcase, but we are also less than 1 month away from the Summer Game Fest kickoff show on Friday, June 2nd, which will be a 2-hour event with hopefully some great reveals. Well, now Nate the Hate claims that one of the following games will at least show up: Project 007, the Tomb Raider reboot, and or Wolf Among Us 2. I think Wolf Among Us 2 is the least likely candidate, as it got a ton of delays. I can see that being in some sort of trouble, while this teaser for the James Bond game from IO Interactive, the Hitman developers, is now from December 2020. So they've been working on it for at least 4 years. I can see them finally reveal it with a 2026 date for sure. And last year in June, it was noted that news on Amazon's Tomb Raider that Crystal Dynamics is developing is not too far away. But yeah, we are now a year away and we still have not seen it, so I think that one is also in the cards. Overall, 3 stars for the rumor. Nate the Hate has a very good track record. I believe at least one of those games will totally show up, with 007 and Tomb Raider being the most likely candidates at either that kickoff show on June 2nd with Jeff Keighley, on the Xbox show, or a PlayStation event, as I expect them to do some sort of state of play or showcase at the end of May. We'll of course be covering all the Summer Game Fest like leading up to it and afterwards here on the channel and also on the React channel. And this coming week I will, by the way, be back with that weekly Monday stream where we go over all the news that I already touched on here, some other stuff. Link to the countdown in the video description. Hope you can watch live. It's also Doom the Dark Ages launch week. It comes out on the 15th and is also of course on Game Pass. Metacritic is currently at an 85. Let me know if you will play it in the comments down below. And on that same day, the final Star Wars Outlaws DLC drops. Keep an eye on the channel for coverage of that. We will have more videos of course as well, with a news roundup like this at the end of the week. So subscribe to not miss anything. A like would really help me out. And check out my previous video on recent Assassin's Creed Shadows info by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.